Omar Khan, man, there's not one bad thing about any of these moves. And this is another one, in my opinion. You get another dude on like a vet minimum type of contract who's actually good a couple years ago for the Pack. Like, he was really good. He was a sought after slot corner. Just had a down year with the Vikings. He's still relatively young, 26 years old. So just to bring him in to compete with Arthur Mallette, Trey Norwood, and I would say if you were gonna grade the secondary, slot corner was probably gonna be our weakness if we weren't gonna address that, right?
Yeah.
But we brought him in. Obviously, we didn't draft the guy. Like the move. Low risk, high reward. That's been basically every move we've made this offseason.
Yeah, to me, man, when I look at Chandon, I think he has a really good chance at starting as our slot corner because he's different than Arthur Mallette. Arthur Mallette is Mike Hilton. Chandon Sullivan is Cam Sutton. That's the dynamic when I watch Chandon. Started in the playoff game for them. Obviously, they played the Giants this year. Played well, man. He has some moments in that thing. The thing that I like about Chandon the most, and I got a film review that's going to come out on him too real soon, smart player. In the slot, both press man and when he's backed up off of guys. Understands where his leverage is, understands where the help is. Does a good job in terms of just defining that. Also in terms of just being competitive at the catch point. This is a guy that has had multiple interceptions in a season before. I think the most he's had in one season was 3. And that was not this year, but the year prior to that when he was in Green Bay. Had 3 picks his last year there. But when you're talking about Chandon, he's going to tackle. And he's going to play this game with great passion and effort. Some of the stuff that, like I said, really shows up on his tape, though, is just how confident and how much he communicates in coverage. When he's watching routes exchange, you don't really see him get fooled a lot. And I'm not going to sit here and act like he's elite man-to-man corner because that's not the case. But when you're talking about being a varsity corner that has started in this league, and rightfully so, that is what Chandon brings to the table. Honestly, it reminds me of the Arthur Mallette signing. When Arthur Mallette came from the Jets, it was another one of those, man, he's had some success. He's been around a little bit. It's not the most flashiest signings. He's not going to cost the most money, but this is a guy that's going to come in here and is going to give you legit NFL caliber corner play. That is what Chandon is going to bring to that room. And he's going to push Trey Norwood. He's going to push Arthur Mallette. He's going to push anybody that they put in there because of what he's already done, not just early in his career, but just going back to his last game, man. Because that's, one of the things about football, man. When you see what a dude has done in his most recent performances, man, it does give you a little bit more of a barometer and just how you can potentially project where he's going to go to. But I do like him, man. I think that was a really good pickup. And like you already talked about, it's a 1-year deal, man, super low risk. I think it was the $1 million like base vet minimum like qualification for him. So really good in that aspect. But ultimately, we did not get that true slot corner in the draft. So with
this is our way of addressing it.
This is the way of addressing it. Absolutely. And with Chandon also, man, 5'11". So still good size on it. He's not, this 5'8", 5'9". You're going to get this mismatch.
Isn't that Cam Sutton's height?
Yeah, that's definitely Cam Sutton's height. Whereas when you think of Mike Hilton, he was a little bit shorter. You know what I mean? But that's the thing that Chandon's going to bring us. So like I said, not as sexy of a name per se, but when you talk about what he's going to bring into this defense, we're going to feel good about
He was.
this,
I'm telling you, like with the Packers, he was ranked as one of the top slot corners in the league.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
And he's got that dog in him. Is what he said on Twitter.
Oh,
he's got Venom as his profile pic, too.
Oh, I like that.
Ian Rappaport gave the tweet that said, Chandon Sullivan signing with the Steelers per his agent. He quote tweeted it, "Time to reclaim my island."
I like that. No, it was dope, man, watching him because obviously him and Pat P were in the same secondary. And just watching both of them dudes, man, Chandon played a ton. Like, he was their slot. And the production was there. Like I said, he's still going to have some areas where, you always wanted to improve upon. And one of the things that I would say with him is just when he's coming in and out of his breaks with wide receivers, when they're running deep ins and deep outs, sometimes I feel like he's a little bit too respectful with his leverage, but at the same time, he knows the type of athlete that he is and what he is not. And I think part of that is why he gives guys the leverage respect that he does. But the one thing that I will say he does consistently is even if a guy is able to make a catch because of that part, he is always in position to close and make the tackle afterwards. And that just goes to the technique of always being in position and understanding the strengths and weaknesses of what you're going to do out there. You're not going to be able to stop everything. And if you're not, this great elite athlete burner, great hips and all this other stuff, you got to figure out, all right, am I going to take away the deep ball? Am I going to take away the breaking routes? And for him, he does look like he plays it top down. He arrows on the side of, you're not going to beat me deep or to my leverage, and I'll tackle everything else. And I think that, like you said, when you bring him here, man, that's going to definitely fit real well what we got going on.
Also says, I took notes of all the slander before. Y'all going to see.
Oh, I like that.
I like the energy he's coming in with.
Man, I like that, baby. Come on, bring that villain arc energy over here, man, but make sure you produce and back it up.
Obviously, it's going to be a competition, but I think day one, it feels like he's going to have the upper hand against a Millette and a Trey Norwood based off his history.
If it's base and we're thinking run, Millette will be out there first. If it's any passing situation or it's play action potentially, Chandon's the guy because Chandon can cover. Like, he's a good corner in that element of it, man. I just think that Millette has the better physicality, the better like run blitzing, but that's why Millette is, that's kind of his niche right there. But to me, Chandon, he is going to make his hay when we're talking about, man, it's third down, we need a corner. He's going to be the guy that's going to have way more reps than how we utilize Arthur Millette in terms of just more of the run downs or the physical type plays and stuff
that's
like that.
That's the thing that can maybe keep Millette on the roster.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't know if Trey Norwood is going to be able to do the run defending to the level that Arthur Millette can. I don't think Trey Norwood or Millette cover as well as Chandon either. And that's kind of like, when I think of Norwood, I'm like, bro, you better make sure your special teams tape is hot. Like, you got to be hot there. And then in preseason, show him that you could play both nickel and safety consistently with no errors. Because he's the one that's in danger to me. Like, he's the one that's got to have that antenna going up like, all right, Keanu Neal is here. Shannon Sullivan is here. Like, what we finna do,
you got to think James Pierre and Keller Witherspoon, too.
Absolutely.
With us bringing in Trice and JPJ.
They put them all on alert. And rightfully so. But that's what we're going to get, and that's what you want. You want that competition. You want guys to feel like they can't be complacent. They can't have a bad practice. Heck, you want them to feel like they can even miss practice. Because that's going to make them have to go out there and be their best selves. And that's ultimately going to help us, come season time.